is absolutely sensational stuff.
Oh, what's happened? Off! They're both off!
They've seen some amazing action here this afternoon.
That'll be in the gravel, that's going no further.
And that's it, there he is.
We head now down towards Cobb's Corner at about 165 miles an hour. Through goes the Ferrari, through goes the Red Bull, through goes the Mercedes.
So Perez will have a great chance down Hanger Straight into Stowe Corner. Leclerc is beginning to warm up those used hard compound tyres. If Perez can get a good release off of Beckett, he'll get the slipstream and he's got the DRS. We saw the rear wing open. This is going to be very close into Stowe Corner.
Perez is catching Charles Leclerc. He takes him towards the inside. Perez on the inside. Charles Leclerc gives him just enough space. Can Perez squeeze past? They're going wheel to wheel towards Vale now. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, cuts the chicane. Off goes Leclerc. Through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff coming out of the final corner. Perez and Leclerc going for it. Hamilton says thank you very much. Another thing opens up for him.
Perez comes up the inside. He's taking the place back. Hamilton hangs it out around the outside. He's run out of road. Leclerc's still in the hunt as well.
So Leclerc trying to get that place back from Hamilton. He has. Hamilton was forced off the track. I wonder what will be said about that. But goes through Charles Leclerc, who's got DRS to pull away from Lewis Hamilton. And arriving on the scene, well, of course he is, Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris as well. 5 cars separated by about 20 metres here. Perez goes through. Hamilton gets just blocked a little bit by Leclerc. Here comes Fernando Alonso down towards Cobbs.
Hamilton had to get out of the throttle. He was pushed to the outside there. Alonso then couldn't make anything of that. And off we go again. Absolutely extraordinary.
No, I gave it everything today. I was trying to chase down those Ferraris, but congratulations to Carlos. They were just too quick today for us. And at the end, I was in amongst that battle with Checo. Those guys were just too quick on the straights for me today.
And it's going to make an enormous difference in World Championship terms, because if Schumacher can stay ahead of Hill and win the British Grand Prix, he will increase his World Championship lead of 11 points by 4 points. If Damon Hill could get past Michael Schumacher and win, it would decrease the gap from 11 points to 7 points. Oh, what's happened? Damon's lost it, has he? Stops! Off! They're both off! Who's that? Is that a Tyrrell or is it? It's Schumacher. They're both off. They're both out. Now you suddenly saw Damon Hill's steering wheel whirl about in his hands. Now whether they collided or not, I do not know. Damon attacks, goes through on the inside. Contact. Now there's going to be a big argument about that. Damon Hill will say, I was close enough to get through on the inside. Schumacher will say, in no way were you. But the result is, of course, that Johnny Herbert is leading the British Grand Prix.
It was not necessary what happened there. They could have such a...
Going down the Wellington Straight's going to have to go the long way round Brooklands. Vettel has got grip on the inside. Magnussen now will try and do to Alonso what Alonso did to him earlier in the race, and he switches to the inside here. And can he manage to get past that Ferrari? No, Alonso just closes the door on him and says, excuse me, I'll deal with you later. I'm after this boy first.
No, he's covered him off on the inside.
There goes Alonso around the outside and Cops. Brilliant stuff from Fernando Alonso.
That is bravery beyond the Call of Duty. Alonso took all the risks there. That was incredible.
DRS assistance for Sebastian Vettel. Is he going to reclaim that place back? Yes, he is. And in the end, it was a little bit easier, but Alonso doesn't want to give up at the end of that straight. And Vettel thought he got it done. Alonso then pinched the place back. And this is turning into the best tussle of the afternoon. Alonso and Vettel resuming battle.
What he's now doing is he's parking his car on the apex and then bolting through the exit.
Right, here we go. Vettel's lining up Fernando Alonso here. Alonso has left the gap around the outside. He's closed down that gap. There was still a car's width, but what he did was just slow down Vettel enough so that he couldn't get past through Copse, and Vettel had to run wide.
He's going to have a massive issue this time.
Yeah.
He was slow off turn 3. Oh, and he had to lift. Vettel had to lift.
Because he just went a little bit too wide himself, but he's still going for it. And this time he does want to get the job done going into Brooklands. But once again, Fernando Alonso fights back and just will not give up this 5th place. Vettel now switches to the inside. Alonso, does he have to give up? They're going wheel to wheel, somehow not touching as they go round Woodcote and on towards Copse, where Alonso passed Vettel on the outside a few laps ago, and on the inside Sebastian Vettel gets it done this time. No man wanted to yield, and in the end, for this fight, Vettel wins. Vettel thinks he's got that place won at the end of the Wellington Straight, and twice Alonso sliding his way out of Luffield. Twice Alonso has got back at him, and now it's this. This is who blinks first.
Yeah, it was a touch rude that time from Alonso, it must be said, on the way into Brooklands.
I know, but didn't you love it?
Yeah.
It's been a brilliant scrap between these two, and Alonso finally giving it up, gets onto the dirt himself there.
Oh, it's a big crash for Jarno Trulli. He's hit that tyre wall really hard. Looks like he's okay, but that was a huge crash.
I think he's dropped it on the exit of Bridge Corner by the looks of it, and yeah, and safety car standing by, and there is why, because clearly a lot of debris. I think we're now coming into that zone. It's an unusual camera shot. Yes, we are, with a wheel in the middle, and they've got to slow down. And yes, Jarno Trulli, safety car deployed. Safety car is out. He dropped it on the exit of Bridge. He was well through the corner, so and then rolls over the rollover bar, digs into the gravel trap. He was walking away after this incident. We know he's okay. This is a replay. Jarno Trulli then with a sizable accident on the exit of the terrifying Bridge Corner, but the cars are so good now. They've been taking that full throttle quite comfortably. I asked Mark Webber yesterday when he was doing our lap guide, you know, is it easily full throttle? He said, yeah, even on used tyres we can get it just through full. So was it a technical problem there, structural problem with Trulli's car? It's unusual to see a driver lose it quite so quickly. Normally they would be darting around a bit before they spun off.
Senna on the right, Prost in the blue and white and yellow Williams behind both of them. The yellow and green Benetton of Michael Schumacher, and Prost is going for it, and he's done it! He's done it! He hasn't! My goodness, he hasn't! Wow, that was very, very fraught indeed. Did you see the way the Williams got out of shape there? Senna's not having any of that. No, you won't, he says, and retains his 2nd place. And because of that, Prost lost a bit of momentum, and Michael Schumacher is right with him, and Senna has slightly extended his lead over the Williams Renault. And I have little doubt that Damon Hill will be further ahead of all of them. We have cameras on Senna's car, on Prost's car, and on Schumacher's car. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. I'll have it now, says Alain Prost. I think I'm going to take 2nd place. I don't think you are, says Ayrton Senna. Yes, I am. This is absolutely sensational stuff. Just look at Schumacher behind them too. This is the best scrap in the leading places that we've had all season. No doubt about it.
I think Alain Prost is going to be a little upset, in fact, because I think he feels now that Ayrton was cramping him there on the way through. He almost had the pass. I think sooner or later, as we see it now, he's just made that pass very strongly. If he holds the tight line in, he's okay. And Schumacher now is obviously in a position to threaten Senna. Schumacher's younger, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, full of enthusiasm. Ayrton Senna may have got his tyre temperatures a wee bit up, and there you're with Schumacher getting close to Ayrton Senna. And watch this young man, he's going to give him a real push, and he has done it. He's gone through. No, he hasn't. They were side by side. You can see the correction that Schumacher had to make. He was surprised, looking behind from Ayrton Senna's car. Very good picture of Schumacher. Schumacher not hitting the curb, been very clean.
Now into the right-hand section of the corner, up into 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, building to 180 miles an hour for the sweep left at Abbey Curve.
going to have a go at him here, almost certainly going into bridge. He's going to have a go. Can he do it? No, he can't. It's just too fast there. Senna's not giving him enough speed. He doesn't have the momentum to do it, but that's the place he would like to have done it. However, it is, of course, the most dangerous place to choose to do it.
And Damon Hill is extending his lead. He's now 8.25 seconds ahead of Prost, and this is Schumacher taking third place as forecast by J.Y. Stewart. Schumacher goes through into third position with a supreme passing manoeuvre.
Here we go then. This is what we've all come to Silverstone for. The British Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Sainz gets away well, as does Lando Norris, as does Lewis Hamilton, who's already ahead of Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen into Abbey takes the lead ahead of Carlos Sainz, and at the back that's George Russell out of this race, who's finished in the top 5 in every race this season, but he's out by the time they get to turn 1. Off the track there goes Charles Leclerc, and rounds the corner Lewis Hamilton battling away with Charles Leclerc, who's on the inside, and the red flag has now come out to make racing redundant.
Yeah, the car was upside down that went through the gravel. Looks like it might have righted if that was George Russell's car that was upside down. Yeah, there's marks on the rollover.
I think it's Zhou Guan Yu who's also involved with this.
So certainly something in the background went into the gravel upside down. George Russell running over to see if he can help, maybe.
So we've also got the Alpha Tauri of Yuki Tsunoda involved, and you can see the damage there to his front wing. There you can see the damage to Esteban Ocon's car, and the front right tyre bravely hanging on. Zhou Guan Yu starting in 9th place, the red and white Alfa Romeo. Nicholas Latifi gets in between him and George Russell. Gasly backs out. There's the initial content. That's where the car then is upside down onto the gravel, and then it flips and tries to right itself, and as it does so, that's by the barriers, and then it goes over the tyre barrier and into the catch fencing. So he was actually, Martin, upside down, as you can see, in the roll hoop and the halo, very much doing its job before the car digs in, and you do not ever want to see accidents like that.
Yeah, I think George was pulling to the left into the Alpha Tauri. That's tripped the Alfa Romeo completely over. Luckily, it lost a little bit of speed, going round and round and round into the gravel. As I said, it's always concerning them because your rollover hoop digs into the gravel. We're told we're only seeing these replays. Now we know that he's okay.
Yes.
Just to reassure you. Yeah, so whether George got a little tap on his right-hand side, I don't know. But so 3 of them got together. So the centre of gravity of these cars is so unbelievably low that to tip them over is not easy.
Watch Gasly go to try and follow Latifi here. And is it Gasly that makes the contact?
Yeah, so it's basically George was coming a little bit left, and they pincered Gasly in the middle.
So here is Alex Albon now, and he gets the tap. Nothing he can do. Sent into the barriers. Just avoids Daniel Ricciardo, and I think then makes contact with Esteban Ocon.
So Yuki had a poor start, nearly he bogged down, and this is where it went wrong in front of him. So what it was just so many so much contact with Albon's car as well, but there's so many drivers getting a poor start basically, and it's just mixed the pack up terribly.
Esteban Ocon then, nothing he could do about it. He's already on the grass trying to get past the Alpha Tauri, sees all the locks up, puts his brakes on, and then he's heading to the scene of an accident at just the wrong time.
He thought he was navigating that beautifully, and then from stage right came, I think it was Alex Albon, wasn't it?
Formula One flies into Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Music to McLaren's ears as Mika Häkkinen takes his 6th pole of the season. All eyes are on the lights as the Battle of Britain begins. Häkkinen's opening out a considerable lead, but also opening are the heavens. Conditions are deteriorating and Häkkinen has zero visibility as he comes round to lap the back of the field. As Häkkinen charges through bridge, the ultra-fast right-hander, and he's lost it across the gravel, across the grass, and lucky to rejoin without losing the lead. With the rain relentless, the safety car's out, and Häkkinen's 38-second lead is washed away. Oliver Gavin and his Mercedes pulls off the track as Häkkinen and his Mercedes looks to rebuild his advantage over a determined Michael Schumacher in second. Hakkinen is under enormous pressure now, and he's blown it, running wide at Beckett's. Schumacher is the new race leader. More pressure for Mika as the second Ferrari of Irvine menacingly looms in. They can sense victory at Ferrari, but there's another twist. That's a penalty notice for Michael Schumacher. The Ferrari ace is continuing, putting in some sensational laps, and he crosses the finishing line whilst coming in for his penalty stop. Meanwhile, Hakkinen takes the checkered flag on the track. Michael's 10 seconds are up and he's off. Confusion reigns. No one's quite sure who's won in these unprecedented circumstances. But Michael Schumacher is declared the winner.
It was easy up to the pace car. I wasn't fast enough. Couldn't hold the pace off two guys in front of me. Obviously I slowed down because there was no point pushing. It was very dangerous, and I was quite happy that the pace car came out actually.
One of the most bizarre finishes in Grand Prix history began on lap 43, when Michael Schumacher passed Wirtz under a yellow flag. The penalty notice led to confusion.
It's plus 10 seconds or we must stop? I don't know. No. Time penalty. Time penalty.
The mix-up occurred as a result of errors made by the stewards. Ferrari were not only given the wrong penalty and informed later than the rules allowed, but also received it so late in the race that they were entitled to bring Schumacher in for his punishment on his final lap, and thus crossing the finishing line in the pits. Confusion prevailed in the immediate aftermath of the Grand Prix, and due to the stewards' mistakes, no one was quite sure who had won the race.
Grid warming up then for the 60 laps of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Heikki Kovalainen on the right, Mark Webber on the left with Lewis Hamilton behind him, and the race is go. Great immediate getaway by Kovalainen, but Raikkonen is on the attack. He's trying to force Webber out, and look at Hamilton down the inside. The crowd goes mad as Lewis Hamilton sides up the inside, but Kovalainen's not having that. He looks in his mirrors to see where Hamilton is. He's squeezing his teammate. Hamilton has to back out of it. Uncompromising driving by Kovalainen, and Hamilton was on the rampage at the start.
Yes, he just hooked it up perfectly, minimised the wheel spin and took off. Webber back down to fourth, but Hamilton then trying to see...
we've got a spinner. It's Webber, Mark Webber from the front row of the grid, and look at the speed as they flash past him. A Ferrari has spun. Which one is it? It's Felipe Massa. It's a day for facing the wrong way on a racetrack. And you can see he's right up behind the rear wing now. It's a lot of work for Hamilton to keep this car pointing in a straight line. On the run down the Hangar Straight then towards Stowe, up to 190 miles an hour, and this is where Mansell passed Piquet, and now Hamilton has gone past Kovalainen in an equally memorable pass up the inside into Stowe, and now will he drive away or will Kovalainen come back at him?
Kovalainen's been across the grass or something in the middle sector of the previous lap. It's dropped him down to third, and that is where second place was lost for Heikki Kovalainen. Now it's put Alonso all over the back of him too. Oh, there we go, just lost it under braking. Is on the way in to the Abbey chicane. It's actually quite hard to go over there and have a crash. He just dropped the back end under braking. Brake balance is quite rare within the wet, and then a downshift at the same time. In fact, I think he got up on top of some water, busy watching Bourdais, and luckily did not collect Bourdais as he then turned into the chicane himself. Hamilton with a clear run into his pit, as does the Ferrari of Raikkonen. Those tyres staying on the Ferrari, changing Lewis's tyres, and Hamilton then maintains position.
This is Heidfeld then, with Glock and Alonso. This is the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th, and Heidfeld just drives around the outside of Glock. He's going up the inside of Alonso. Just past two cars in the space of two corners. He's really on the move. Nick Heidfeld, fantastic driving.
Surely they're going to have to pit Raikkonen. He's losing 5 seconds a lap.
They've made a big mistake. They've made a big mistake. It's going to cost them here, and this is handing it to McLaren.
The McLaren is so much faster than the Ferrari, and surely he'll duck underneath him now, pick up some grip. If Raikkonen's coming in the pits, he needs to do it now. And there's a BMW there.
Yeah, Heidfeld went through as well, and I think gave him a little nudge, and he also went up the inside of Kovalainen at the same time. A cheeky little move there by Nick Heidfeld that took again 2 places in one corner, as he did a few laps ago. He is on a mission, is Nick Heidfeld. Kovalainen from pole now slipping back further as Kubica lines him up down the Hangar Straight. up to about 185, 190 miles an hour in the driving rain goes Robert Kubica, and scythes down the inside into Stowe in exactly the same place and the same way as Lewis Hamilton did early in this race. And on he goes. Look how hard the rain is falling now at Silverstone. No, Nelson, who's going so well in 4th place.
You're going to see more of that. It's down at the Abbey chicane where there's a slope up to the braking area there. You do tend to get some running water. There it is, a replay then how he finally retired. The grooves in the tyres just can't clear the water. Lewis is across the grass.
And Kubica's off as well. Everybody's struggling here. They're going to have to switch to extreme wets.
This is Massa then, presumably he's going to end up aquaplaning off the road in here somewhere in a straight line. Look, he's gone off in a straight line. That's exactly what we've been talking about. How he didn't slam that one in the barriers is pure luck, I'd imagine, actually.
Now this is Barrichello, who put extreme wet tyres on at his pit stop, and look how much easier it is for him. Barrichello picks up 4th place now.
Well, the BMW's off. That'll be in the gravel. That's going no further. Kubica out of the race.
Another major championship contender not scoring points here this afternoon.
I suspect what he did is move out to lap somebody or overtake somebody.
So many questions asked about his commitment, about his distractions. Could he handle the pressure? Was he man enough? He came here to Silverstone and he has shown them all with one of the great drives at Silverstone. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. A fantastic performance, a mesmerising drive. At times he was 5 or 6 seconds a lap quicker than men on the same tyres. Stunning drive by Lewis Hamilton. Heidfeld comes through, or he will do in a long time, in 2nd place. Rubens Barrichello 3rd. What a tremendous British Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton took himself to another level today. He's now in a 3-way tie for the World Championship lead. The second half of this Formula One season is going to be spellbinding.
We've got royalty, we've got A-listers, we've got 20 of the best drivers in the world on the grid at Silverstone, and it's lights out and away we go. And once again, Max Verstappen gets a decent start. Not as good as yesterday. Hamilton is right with him. Leclerc is already ahead of Bottas. Verstappen's ahead of Lewis Hamilton, going through the second turn. It's the Red Bull, but Hamilton's coming back. Into Village we go. It is Verstappen from Hamilton, then Leclerc, Bottas and Ricciardo ahead of his teammate Lando Norris.
Verstappen's going to have to weave like crazy. Hamilton got a better drive off the loop. He will be faster down the Wellington straight into Brooklands.
Not going to get a chance to weave because already Hamilton is with him. They almost touch. They go into Brooklands. Verstappen stays ahead. The crowd roar their approval for this. The 2 championship contenders giving it everything.
It's not over yet because Hamilton gets another slipstream all the way down the old pit straight into Copse Corner. These are critical corners for this Grand Prix.
Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside. A continent touch. Verstappen is out of the race, and that's a big crash into Copse. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen coming together. Hamilton continues on. Charles Leclerc now leads the British Grand Prix, but for the second time this season, Hamilton and Verstappen clash and tangle on the opening lap, but this time it is ending in dramatic consequences for the championship leader.
For me, it's very clear. I mean, Lewis has stuck a wheel up the inside at one of the fastest corners on this World Championship. He's driven this circuit for years. You know, you don't do that here.
I was really proud of the move, and I was really far alongside, but I could see he was not going to concede. And so, anyways, he cut across me and we collided. And I was quite frustrated that's, you know, because we have to give space for one another. But anyways.
And we've got real rambunctious action here in the main pack. Look at this though, Barrichello attacking Ralf Schumacher.
And that'll be an important pass, but I don't think Ralph's going to have the Ferrari around the outside of him at Stowe, that's for sure. And he's really having to go defensive though. Now he can he's had to go in on a tight line, that'll compromise his exit speed. Rubens should be able to punish him for that, but the BMW is the most powerful engine on the racetrack, and will it give him enough grunt up the hill? And Rubens having to go wide, go to the outside, but he won't past him like he did Raikkonen. And once again, Ralph out of position, and Barrichello makes it stick.
Wow, what a move by Rubens Barrichello! Fantastic motor racing here at Silverstone, and those two have got plenty of form, haven't they? They've taken each other off at all sorts of places over the last few years, said all sorts of rude things about each other, but they've given us some spectacular action here.
They love him and he loves them. And Nigel Mansell comes out of Luffield 1 into Luffield 2, which is the last corner but one. They're breaking ranks, the Union Jacks are waving, and Nigel Mansell wins the 1992 British Grand Prix in terrific style. Hands off the wheel. He sees the opportunity to become the world champion getting greater and greater as he completes that winning lap, and he's now on his wind-down lap. And they're seeing now their hero come through. If he gets back to the pitch through this lot, I think he will be doing extremely well. What a wonderful sight. This is Nigel's 7th win of 1992. It raises his World Championship points score to 76.
Sebastian Vettel has it.
Oh, he's got a big chance. Big chance.
But can he do it? He's going to have to go the long way round into Brooklands. Sebastian Vettel, Bottas going wheel to wheel. Great defending by Bottas, but he goes wide. Now Sebastian Vettel through Luffield. My fancy he's got the advantage, but Bottas squeezes him once again. Brilliant defending by the Finn.
And this brings Hamilton right under the back of them, but no DRS down here.
So he's going to have to go the long way around again. Sebastian Vettel, and once more Bottas just hangs on to that lead. Now through Maggots and Beckett's, he's got to try and extend it, but Vettel is gaining on him again.
Bottas driving as if his life depended on it, but Vettel will now have DRS down the back straight as well. Hamilton right on them, and he's dragging Raikkonen along too now.
I think he actually might have a bit more trouble on his hands as Sebastian Vettel goes down the inside on Valtteri Bottas. What a late move, what a late lunge, what a brilliant move by Sebastian Vettel to retake the lead of the British Grand Prix.
He was just that little bit closer, and also we saw Bottas, the back end of the car, moving around. He would have had to bleed out of a little bit of throttle, and that was the moment Vettel needed, the merest mistake from Bottas.
It was a nice battle with Valtteri. He was pushing like crazy. Obviously I had the advantage on the tires, but not so easy to find a way through, and then I think I surprised him, so I wasn't sure if I'd make the corner, but I did, so it worked really well, and yeah, very, very happy. Obviously great thanks to the team supporting me, also people in the background, because yesterday I was a bit damaged. Much better shape today, it was no problem, so yeah, really, really happy.
The revs start to build as the lights go on ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out, and away we go, and it's a very good start there from Jenson Button, and he's already passed Sebastian Vettel, and it looks like Nico Hülkenberg has as well, and Felipe Massa's got a problem right at the back as Lewis Hamilton comes up to challenge Sebastian Vettel, but it's Nico Rosberg that gets away, and then comes Jenson Button and Kevin Magnussen. Hamilton on the inside and gets very close to Sebastian Vettel there. Ricciardo comes to join in on the act. Hülkenberg has lost a place to Hamilton, who seems to have got a very good start, and now gets the getaway down the Wellington Straight.
Banging of wheels then between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, and somebody's gone very, very deep, haven't they?
It's a Ferrari, it's Kimi Raikkonen. Oh, he's gone off into the barrier as well, and that's a big shunt. It's a big shunt for the Ferrari. It takes the Williams there of Felipe Massa. The Caterham getting caught up. There's a tyre gone. Is that Sergio Perez, I think? There goes Raikkonen wide onto the runoff area and comes back, gets on the grass, doesn't he?
Yeah, he dropped it all by himself. And so lucky he didn't get collected by the Caterham, did get collected by Felipe Massa, who ought to have had a reasonably clear picture of all of that unfolding, and we're about to see if that's correct or not.
Massa,
he's underneath the rear wing of the Caterham, that's why he didn't see it. Yeah.
And there just Raikkonen appears, and he couldn't get out of the way in time.
Yeah, he was totally unsighted there.
I think Raikkonen was trying to go around the outside of one of the Saubers, and that took him wide. He's just got onto the grass. He completely lost control.
he hit a bump. Hit a bump, and there would be a rain gully there, and the back of the car jumped, and that's when it went sideways.
Verstappen's closer to Leclerc. Is he close enough? He does think about it. He wanted to move down the inside at Stowe, and Leclerc took the racing line, and very quickly Verstappen realised there was nothing doing there. Leclerc takes the inside into Vale as well, wants to force Verstappen the long way round, and definitely the Ferrari starting to struggle with traction out of some of these corners, because Verstappen is on the hunt and gaining all the time, as is Sebastian Vettel behind the Red Bull. Bottas might have just set a new fastest lap of the race. He leads by 0.8 of a second, but there's a terrific scrap here between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen behind it, and there goes Max Verstappen diving down the inside, has to switch now to go round the outside. The wheel to wheel again, unlike in Austria.
This time he's in trouble.
Verstappen has to come off second best, and he's conceded a bit of ground here because Sebastian Vettel's right on his tail. Vettel goes down the inside of Brooklyn somehow. Verstappen fends off the Ferrari. Gasly now might get in on the act as well.
Is this Gasly going to go for the move?
Gasly's going to go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Job done? Not quite.
Yeah, done.
I hope so for your sake, Anthony Davidson.
Ferrari's going to come back at him. Don't forget, they've got great straight line speed, and he's going to have DRS this time around. Both of them do.
Well, both have got DRS, but I don't think it's job done for Pierre Gasly, because Sebastian Vettel's got momentum, tries to go around the outside of Brooklands. All right, job done this time. Pierre Gasly stays ahead. As into the pits comes Charles Leclerc, and into the pits comes Max Verstappen. Right, job on now for the pit crews, because we could see a swap around here. On go the medium compound tyre, and to use set, on go medium for Max Verstappen as well. And look, they're now wheel to wheel down the pit lane, but Verstappen has actually got about a metre advantage, and they have swapped round in the pits. It was all down to the work of the pit crew. Verstappen gets ahead of Leclerc.
Leclerc on medium compound tyres, and Verstappen too.
And even better, they get out just ahead of Carlos Sainz as well. He's gone wide. Has all the good work become undone as Verstappen tries to fight back and then sees Charles Leclerc swoop past him. Now he pulls out to go alongside the Ferrari. It's wheel to wheel down into Brooklands. Leclerc is back out in front of Verstappen. So is the change of strategy maybe not working at the moment, but it hasn't played out to its fullest extent yet. Here goes Max Verstappen into Brooklands. Charles Leclerc is still ahead. Verstappen is trying every single trick in the book at the moment, and a few pages he wrote himself as he goes onto the gravel, and you can hear the gasps, the oohs and the ahs from the crowd as he somehow manages to keep it under control. One thing they would like to do is applaud him when he gets past the Ferrari, but he just can't do it yet. This is absolutely brilliant racing between two supremely talented drivers, and they are giving it everything here. Here comes Verstappen again. He's almost pushed onto the grass. Somehow Leclerc stayed ahead, and I think Verstappen had to back off a little bit there because he was almost on the grass on the inside at Stowe. This is getting serious.
But
there goes Verstappen on the inside of Charles Leclerc. Verstappen struggling at the end, and he got behind Charles Leclerc, and he's overtaken the Ferrari now.
Verstappen wide again. He's now going to have to defend against Leclerc.
He's been doing all the attacking on Leclerc. Now he's defending. They do touch wheels as Charles Leclerc barges his way through, and Max Verstappen hangs out round the outside to try and regain the place, which he does. Behind them, Carlos Sainz is now getting involved as well. How many more laps of action can Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc give us? Hopefully another 27.
He's still the man in front, and that is the dominant position, but Mansell is really on a high, and the crowd, of course, you can see them waving and cheering in the background, and that is definitely worth something. Just that little bit of atmosphere puts you on a bit of an extra high, a bit of an extra charge, and this is where Mansell will be looking to challenge. Piquet will hold the inside line. And Mansell's through. Tremendous driving by Nigel, but that really was a bad mistake by Piquet to go back to the other side of the track. He just opened the door again.
Watch Mansell come first to the left, now to the right. He's got the inside line. He is level with Nelson Piquet.
As soon as I knew I was catching Nelson, the crowd all around the circuit, I think for the last 15 laps, I mean, they were waving to me on all the corners, down the straights. I mean, it was willing me on. I mean, it helped tremendously. I mean, I've got to thank them for the win because it definitely put 5 seconds in my pocket.
Raikkonen got a little bit out of shape on the way out of Stowe, 2 or 3 corners earlier, and it's just allowed Barrichello to be all over him. We know how good Barrichello is. This is his favourite overtaking place. He's been past Raikkonen once already today, and Kimi says, not this time, my friend. But again, Raikkonen now in position, and Barrichello's going to take it, surely. No, he doesn't, and Raikkonen had to go wide. He went in too deep, went wide, and Barrichello beautifully, really just giving Raikkonen no chance there.
5 lights ahead of the drivers at the British Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Sebastian Vettel gets a flyer ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas on the inside as well. Bottas might have a better line through, and he's beaten Lewis Hamilton into turn 2. Kimi Raikkonen on the outside as they head down towards Village. Vettel from Bottas and Hamilton. Hamilton's gone round and he's clashed, and Kimi Raikkonen involved as well. That is massive disappointment for the British crowd. Lewis Hamilton has gone from pole to plumb last in 3 corners.
Raikkonen outbraked himself, tapped the back of the Mercedes and spun him around, and look at this slipstreaming fight down into Brooklands. 2 Red Bulls and a Ferrari. Bottas is going to come up the inside of us and take 2nd place. You see what I mean with Lewis? Lewis have to drive, just driving on his mirrors, and he's going to turn into look like enough space from that angle to me. This is what the stewards are going to be looking at. Did Hamilton squeeze him, or did he leave him space?
Well, Kimi locked up. That didn't help his car control. Let's see on board with Kimi Raikkonen now. Bottas ahead, Hamilton ahead.
All right, I think Raikkonen will take a penalty.
This is where the action really starts. Perez locked up, and then he got tagged from behind.
And so nearly collected those 2 coming out of the 2 Williams coming out of the pit lane.
Sergei Sorokin suddenly sees a Force India facing the wrong way as he's coming out of the pit lane.
The one thing you're almost certain of if you start in the pit lane is you won't have a first lap crash, and they so nearly did.
Absolutely.
Never a team to rest on their laurels, a new front wing was brought to Silverstone for each driver to test. But when Vettel's broke during Saturday practice, the team chose to replace it with the remaining wing from Webber's car. Despite Red Bull's insistence that the new wing did not necessarily perform better and that their decision was based on championship position, the media sensed that there was perhaps more to it.
It was Sebastian who got the 1 version of the new front wing. Can you comment on what you feel about that?
Oh, I think the team is happy with the result today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, from the outside it's quite difficult to judge sometimes what's going on, so we know what we're doing, I think.
Webber makes a charge, but so too does Vettel. Look at the 2 wheel-to-wheel, and Webber's got into the lead. Great start by the Australian. And Vettel's got off. Vettel's got off at the Beckett's complex. He's rejoined, but Webber's streaking clear, and Vettel's way down the field, almost coming to contact there. What about Mark Webber's performance? What credits towards the Australian today? I've hardly seen him in one sense.
Perfect start, and his pace has just been all he needed to do. He's done no more than he needed to do to control this race.
He was seething in qualifying yesterday, but he's successful on Sunday. Who's the number 1 now at Red Bull?
Fantastic, guys. Not bad for a number 2 driver. Cheers.
You know, I would never ever agree to race in this situation again next year, you know, if that was the case. So I'm very sure things will be fine in the future. Yesterday was a unique situation that there was one component, and obviously I wasn't happy with what happened.
Ooh, Carlos Sainz going off onto the grass there. I thought he recovered it, but he hadn't recovered it sufficiently for Max Verstappen to stay behind him. Verstappen sees the error by Carlos Sainz and swoops into the lead at the start of the Hangar Straight. Verstappen, the championship leader, now ahead of Carlos Sainz, and the Ferrari, whether it was caught out by an errant gust of wind here at Silverstone or not, well, it was vulnerable at the start of that straight, and Sainz could do nothing to keep Verstappen at bay. Verstappen's in
very
trouble.
slow.
Either he's gone off the track or he's got a problem with the car, because Carlos Sainz, who 2 laps ago lost the lead to Max Verstappen, is now going to retake the lead, and the crowd absolutely loving that.
So this is not good enough. We are swapping the cars.
There we go. That's the way to do it.
And they've done it quite happily there with Carlos Sainz letting Charles Leclerc past, and Leclerc getting the DRS as well to help him make that move very seamlessly indeed. I tell you what, Esteban Ocon's losing out here. He's been overtaken by Verstappen, he's been overtaken by Schumacher, he's going to be overtaken by Magnussen as well. He has got problems, Esteban Ocon. And boy, does that then make things very interesting, because that 6 seconds gap between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton will get wiped out. And yes, we do have a safety car here at Silverstone.
Yeah, we got a pit. We got double pit stop under the safety car to get some cheap pit stops to put the soft tyres on, presumably.
Well, you would think so, yes. So in comes Carlos Sainz, in comes Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc stays out on the track. So it's soft tyres that are going on for Carlos Sainz. I'd imagine it's soft tyres as well for Hamilton in this one. They reacted very, very rapidly down at Mercedes, but they couldn't get Charles Leclerc in at Ferrari.
The instruction is to give 10 car lengths to Charles and some breathing space. Within 10 car lengths.
But guys, I'm under pressure from Hamilton. Please don't ask these things. Please, let's say stop inventing. Stop inventing.
He's obliged to stay within 10 car lengths. What they're saying is make it 10 car lengths and give Charles some breathing space.
But he has no breathing space because Hamilton is right on his tail.
That's his point. Well, hang on a minute. Stop making this up.
He's driving for himself. Ferrari drivers expected to drive for the team. And he's rightly saying there is more to lose by doing that. Let's just go racing. And look, he's trying to nudge Charles Leclerc round the corner as we get racing again. And Sergio Perez isn't far off Lewis Hamilton, because he could make a charge in that Red Bull. Hamilton's going to be under pressure as Leclerc leads Sainz, leads Hamilton, leads Perez into Abbey.
Yeah, Hamilton struggled for grip off the last corner for some reason. That's put Perez onto him. Perez may have a go up the inside of turn 4, and he's going around the outside and switches back as well. Will he get better traction off the corner? He's got the line then.
Oh, and off the track goes Charles Leclerc as Carlos Sainz retakes the lead at this British Grand Prix. Hamilton and Perez are going wheel to wheel. Perez is ahead of Hamilton. Back comes Sainz and Leclerc. Leclerc behind his teammate Carlos Sainz, who at the restart didn't think about the team, thought about himself, and wants to win a race for the first time. It is Carlos Sainz from Charles Leclerc.
As Carlos Sainz then, just a few hundred metres to go.
So in Canada 2 weeks ago, a man making his 150th start won from pole position. Here at Silverstone, a fortnight later, a man making his 150th start from pole position is going to take victory. And for the first time in Formula One, Carlos Sainz is victorious. He wins the British Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, a brilliant recovery from him, takes second. Lewis Hamilton's on the podium for a 13th time here at Silverstone.
Vamos! Good job.
We did it. Yes! We did it. Yes! Vamos!
Bravo, Carlos.
The second longest wait for a win in Formula One history, as the man with the longest wait for a win sprays him with the fizzy stuff. Carlos Sainz on top of the world, on top of the podium after a tip-top British Grand Prix. And a big crash there for the Toro Rosso. Now what happened here?
Something definitely broke on the car.
Red flag, session stopped. Brendan Hartley going into the barriers at some speed, and an anxious look on the face of his team principal, Franz Tost.
Oh no, it's a front left that failed in a big way as soon as he hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Brendan, are you okay?
Yeah, suspension failure.
I've not seen something like that since your Toyota teammate Sebastian Buemi
in China.
China and Shanghai, when both front wheels came off.
Upright failing, isn't it? on the brakes. As soon as he's hit the brake pedal, that's it's literally ripped the brake and upright from the car.
Schumacher's Benetton screams off the line at the start of the formation lap and contravenes the FIA regulation Article 120 by overtaking the pole position man as the field comes round to form up for the race start. As the cars take up position, Coulthard's engine stalls and the start is aborted. Coulthard now having to start the race from the back of the grid. Irvine's Hart V10 seizes on the next formation lap before even reaching the grid for the start, while Brundle's Peugeot V10 lets go in a ball of flame as the lights switch to green. Up at the front, it's Hill who has got away in the lead, with Schumacher second and pressing hard. On lap 13, it's announced that Schumacher will receive a 5-second penalty for his antics on the formation lap. Lap 21, and the German is shown the black flag, and repeatedly on laps 22 and 23.
Not in the computer. That's what the marshal said. It's a stop and go penalty. Doesn't see the paper one didn't say that, Roland. No? That's why. No, honestly, that's why I didn't come in. It was in the paper. No, it wasn't, sir. Honestly, it was not.
Despite the verbal protestations of its team, Schumacher has to come in for a 5-second stop-go penalty. The team showing him the InSign on his pit board on lap 25, and the German actually coming in at the end of lap 27. All this is good news for Hill and the Williams team, as his lead stretches to around 20 seconds once Schumacher is back in the race. As the laps count down towards the checkered flag, Hill and Coulthard run nose-to-tail formation, although the Scot is 1 lap down. Hill leads, Schumacher is second, Alesi third, Hakkinen fourth, Barrichello fifth, and Coulthard sixth. It's a dream come true for Damon.
I feel absolutely superb. I think this is the best day of my life. I just can't, it's like a dream. I want to thank everyone at Williams who have gone through misery this year, and it's been a very tough year. I want to thank everyone at Williams for getting behind me and making this possible.
What's happened to Valtteri Bottas? He's gone wide, and now Max Verstappen can see the Mercedes and can see him in his rear wing. He has passed Valtteri Bottas for second place, and that front wing looks damaged.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, left
that's
front
a puncture.
there. Yeah, left right. It's a clear left. It's more than a puncture. That's Albon taking Vettel.
It is.
It looks like a delamination of the tyre, and Mercedes will be extremely worried. No wonder it's vibrating. Will be extremely worried for Lewis Hamilton. So and we think Max Verstappen's going to stop. So that.
And this is Verstappen now coming in, because they know Valtteri Bottas is going to have to come into the pits. Leclerc's not going to be a challenge at all. It's a free pit stop for Red Bull, and it stops them having any tyre issues as well.
But what it does do is it allows Hamilton a free pit stop as well. So it allows Mercedes to take the risk out of this for Hamilton's car now.
There goes Alex Albon, who's up into the points and now scoring another World Championship point, because he's now 9th. Lance Stroll goes out of 10th as Daniel Ricciardo gets past Carlos Sainz, and he's got tyre problems as well. Has Carlos Sainz, who's going to be passed now by his teammate Lando Norris. And this has huge implications for next week at Silverstone as well, with softer tyre compounds and predicted hotter temperatures on the track. But they're all struggling now with tyre wear, and Sainz's tyre's completely gone as he tries to get into the pits.
Yeah, he'll have a job to get round the right-hander.
And that is Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton is winning the Grand Prix. But look at the state of that Mercedes car as he crosses the line.
He might get it home, but I'm staggered they didn't bring that car in to protect against that. It was only going to be a fraction behind the other car.
He's going through Maggots and Beckett's at the moment. Hamilton's tyre's gone. Verstappen's just going through Woodcote. He's about 4 corners behind. This is now Lewis Hamilton praying that the checkered flag comes as soon as is humanly possible. The gap between Hamilton and Verstappen going down all the time, 20 seconds at the moment, as down the hanger straight comes Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen just going through, you can see him in the background, going through Chapel, through Stowe now with Lewis Hamilton. Well, they shouldn't catch him from there, but who knows how this race is going to end.
Can we win this?
if you get on with it.
If you get on with it, it's the right instruction through the Vale chicane. Look how difficult it was to stop. But for Lewis Hamilton, the checkered flag will come in the nick of time for a 7th British Grand Prix victory and a record 7th British Grand Prix victory for the most wins at home. It's Lewis Hamilton who takes the race. Max Verstappen comes home to take second. Charles Leclerc for Ferrari picking up a second podium of the season, ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who finishes with a lot more pace than most on the track. And here's Valtteri Bottas, who had the initial tyre problem, going round the outside of Sebastian Vettel, or trying to, at least, to get himself into the points. And I'm not sure he's going to manage to do that either. Norris is 5th, Ocon 6th, Gasly 7th, Albon 8th in the end, Stroll 9th, Vettel is 10th. Bottas will finish out of the points. What a dramatic end to a British Grand Prix here at Silverstone.
And Verstappen did get fastest lap on that last lap, hunting Lewis Hamilton down. What an extraordinary, it was a bit of a slow burn, that race. What an extraordinary end.
Don't ever leave before the checkered flag, because no one predicted that.
Is that the last lap? That's it, mate. You've done it. You've done it. Well, that's it, mate.
Oh, that last lap, up until that last lap, everything was relatively smooth sailing. The tyres felt great. I think Valtteri is really pushing incredibly hard. So for him, and I was doing some management of that tyre, he looked like he wasn't doing anyone. So when I heard that his tyre went, I was just looking at mine and everything seemed fine. The car was still turning, no problem, so I was thinking maybe it's okay. Anyways, the last few laps I started to back off, and then just down the straight it just deflated. And I just noticed the shape just shift a little bit, and that was definitely like heart in the mouth kind of feeling, because I wasn't quite sure if it had gone down until I hit the brakes, and obviously you could see the tyre was falling off the rim. And then just driving it, trying to keep the speed up without, because sometimes it'll take off and break the wing and all these different things. Oh my God, I was just praying to try and get it around, not be too slow. I nearly didn't get around the last 2 corners, but thank God we did, and I really owe it to the team. I think ultimately maybe we should have stopped towards the end once we saw the eliminations.
Lewis Hamilton, it has been the perfect afternoon for him in terms of what he's done on the track. He started on pole, he has led every lap. The crowd rise to acclaim him as he makes his way into the Vale chicane. Lewis Hamilton, once a 4-time winner of the British Grand Prix. It's a 5th British Grand Prix win for Hamilton at Silverstone. Mercedes with the perfect afternoon as Valtteri Bottas makes it a 1-2 for the Silver Arrows. Behind Bottas will be Kimi Räikkönen. The championship lead now is just 1 point at the halfway stage of the season. The two guys out in front, separated by just a single point, which makes me want the second half of the season to start right now.
probably lap a second or so faster than Häkkinen if he's got a clear bit of track, so that when Häkkinen makes that single stop, he will come out and then he will be behind Hill. This looks to be the smart thing to do, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Hill come in the next couple of laps, and as the way of getting... And he's gone off!
Damon Hill out of the British Grand Prix. Well, it happened last year, it has happened again. The World Championship leader who blew it at the start. I didn't see what happened. I suspect he was trying to pass Mika Häkkinen and either touched the McLaren Mercedes as he touched Schumacher's Benetton last year, or maybe he just overdid it, but the end result is the same. There is a Lacey, there is Häkkinen, and yes, Hill goes into it, and it's exactly the same thing that happened to him at Hockenheim as he went into the first corner there last year, because the Williams just spun out and the back of the car stepped out. Now we're on board with Damon Hill, and you can see the back of the car steps out, and in a flash Damon Hill has gone, and for the third time this year he finishes a race with no points.
Oh no! Oh my goodness me, just like Hockenheim a couple of years ago, we've got a lunatic on the track, down the Hanger Straight, 160 miles an hour the cars are doing as they come through there. Safety car out, of course. The drivers, oh my word, thinking about a pass there. David Coulthard on Olivier Panis. Well, what can you say? That is absolutely unbelievable.
Luckily then the marshals have got to him now, safety car deployed, and outrageous. And luckily nobody damaged, nobody hurt.
Verstappen's going for it on Sebastian Vettel. He pulls out late once again, and he's got the job done. Going into Stowe, where Valtteri Bottas has pulled off some great moves. Oh no! Sebastian Vettel's gone into Max Verstappen, and under braking, he just couldn't slow down, and Vettel and Verstappen come together as Gasly and Leclerc go through. Verstappen had pulled off the move, he was ahead of the Ferrari, and then he got rear-ended by Sebastian Vettel, and that has totally destroyed his race. So this is how Verstappen got past Sebastian Vettel.
Fair enough, Vettel parked it on the right, and Verstappen just steamed around the outside, kept it within bounds of the racetrack.
So close there. Do you remember when Daniel Ricciardo went into Max Verstappen in Baku?
Yeah.
That's a carbon copy.
You've lost your downforce on the front wing, but that's Vettel's fault. That's Vettel's fault. He's misjudged that. Because he's going across the track, and Verstappen is having to slow down for an acute approach again. Look, they're right in the braking zone. It's in the braking zone.
Now we're on board once again with Lewis Hamilton, DRS assisted, down the Hanger Straight. We're heading towards Stowe. He's going to be wheel to wheel. No, with his teammate. He just runs out of straight just as he was looking to make a move.
He's going to have to defend on the inside into Vale as well. So he takes to the middle of the road. That's not the right line you really ideally need. This is a tricky little double right then of Club onto the short pit straight, and then it's flat out through Abbey. I've been watching these cars for 35 years inside Formula 1. Cannot believe how fast they go through there. Look how much more grip and confidence Hamilton's got.
This is brilliant, brilliant stuff. The two Silver Arrows racing in the opening laps here, and Hamilton is just inches away from his teammate as they make the turn left-handed through the loop and onto Aintree and now the Wellington Straight. And this time, Hamilton is that much closer to Valtteri Bottas, but this time they're going to have to go wheel-to-wheel through Brooklands, and somehow Bottas is staying ahead, but he's got a bit too deep, and Hamilton through Luffield. Can he take the lead of the British Grand Prix? They're ready to celebrate. Now they can start, because Lewis Hamilton, the man they've come to cheer, leads the British Grand Prix. Bottas, though, is going to come back at him through Copse. Bottas retakes the lead. Wow!
He must have turned the power up a little bit. He just came out of there, got great exit out of the corner, and did not give up. Full respect to Valtteri Bottas there. Well, Lewis set him up perfectly, so Valtteri's had to go defensive. Lewis said, okay, I'll give you that one then. but I'm coming back. The classic cutback, and I thought he got it at this point, but Lewis was extremely generous, I would say, on the outside of Luffield. So here's the switchback, and at this point, as far as I'm concerned, Lewis has got it, but he couldn't quite get the car to stick to carry the speed into Luffield, and clearly didn't want to tag his teammate either at the same time.